This is the Throttle Out Show presented by Vixen Industries, the only show where monster truck drivers and mechanics come together to present what's happening in the monster truck community. It's the ultimate combination of torque, horsepower, and trash talk. And now for your hosts. First, straight out of the heart of Detroit Rock City, it's Kid Rock's neighbor and former driver of the BKT ride truck. It's Austin Spence. And the duo deep in the heart of Texas, it's the show owner and daughter of a man who conquered the industry for over 20 years. It's Harley Johnson, along with everyone's favorite Bryce Kenny lookalike, Austin Tweedy. So go ahead, fuel up, strap in, and remember, when in doubt, throttle out.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Wheels Up Wednesday, getting through yet another work week. We know the weekend is tracking very slow. We're getting there, but we're glad you guys are all stopping by this evening to hang out with us here on the Throttle Out Show. And guys, we know we were a little short-handed on Sunday. It was just me and Tweety kind of getting behind the wheel and taking over things, but the whole crew is back. Harley and Tweety are here by my side. Actually, finally, the dynamic duo out of the heart of Texas. How's it going, guys?
Hey, she's alive.
I'm alive. I'm doing a lot better. I'm really happy to be back here.
It's about time, guys. Like, I was getting a little worried about you. I mean, you're a little bit more lively than normal. I mean, I talked to Tweety yesterday, and dude, you sounded like a zombie. Like, you've never been this like unenthusiastic about anything. So I'm glad you're getting a little bit better, man.
Yeah, I've felt much better before, but we're getting there. A lot of fluids, a lot of rest, and we're on the road to recovery.
1,000 milligrams of vitamin C?
Just like BJ said, yep.
Okay, good, man. All right, well, we have a really awesome guest. Obviously, you can see I kind of decked out my background a little bit for him. Harley, you want to bring him in for us?
Yeah, but before we bring him in, let's just wish our good friend Matt Pagliarulo a happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Mr. Jester. How old is he turning, actually?
I don't know.
He's your old boss. You guys should know these things.
I should know what? I'm sorry.
How old he is?
49.
How old is the guy?
Oh,
49, almost 50. Happy birthday, Mr. Pagliarulo. All right.
All right. Now, bring us in, Harley.
Tonight we have a really special guest with us tonight. He made his Monster Jam Stadium debut this year in Arlington, Texas. We got to see it. Let's all welcome Zack Garner.
Hey, everybody. Thanks
What's
for having me.
going on, man?
Just hanging out, building another truck.
Oh, geez, another one?
Yeah, putting Deidre's brand new truck together tonight.
Atta boy. Well, Tweety.
My man. I actually have a couple different questions for you, I guess. The first one is, how old are you, Zach?
Just turned 20 this year.
Holy Toledo.
Oh, my gosh, Tweety, we're old. I might as well start buying Just for Men now.
Something I do want to know is, outside of monster trucks, though, is what do you do when you're not wrenching on a monster truck, when you're not going down the road somewhere? What do you do in your spare time, if you have any spare time?
Honestly, I choose it to spend with all my friends, either that or go race quads through the woods and all that. I really love racing quads, but most of the time, I normally just spend my money very poorly and buy stuff I shouldn't.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Hey,
Yeah, we all do that.
You were talking about before we hopped on here, buying wheels and stuff. Is that something you do on the regular then?
Yeah, I had that set I went and bought that we were talking about there in Ohio for maybe 3 days, and they're already gone for another set. So it's a pretty bad trading experience for me.
So you getting into quads and stuff, like what's your brand of choice? You a Yamaha, you a Honda guy? Like what is your brand of choice?
Very random, but Suzuki.
Okay.
Suzuki.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I think our boy Jeff Sin might fight you on everything Honda. I think that's all Mr. Jeff Sin runs is Hondas.
It most definitely is. I just got to be the oddball of the group.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Very
exactly.
1999.
Dude, absolutely. So I guess what is it? Your guys' team, I mean, has absolutely skyrocketed in the last couple of years. I remember before I even started with Monster Jam and everything, I remember going to the big Monster Truck Madness up in Soaring Eagle Casino, and I remember seeing your dad pilot OverBoard, which is the now Terminal Velocity, the really slim chassis with the Willys body. I really didn't know your guys know he even was like who this guy was, and came out and just put an amazing show. Fast forward, and now you guys are now a 5-truck team, and you guys are dominating, whether it is Monster Jam arenas, Monster Jam stadiums, the Throwdown tour. You guys put on an amazing show all the way around. So with that being said, like, what does the future look like for Team Garner?
Honestly, probably a very busy schedule for us. I know we'll definitely always have 4 trucks going, no matter if it's at Monster Jam, Throwdown, All-Star, just basically wherever we get booked, and we'll always have at least 4 trucks running.
Attaboy. Now, I actually get to see one of your guys' trucks this weekend here in Springport, Michigan at a Throwdown show, your teammate, Mr. John Zimmer Jr. in Terminal Velocity, and that is the only one Garner truck there, but he has quite a lineup to go against, because Throwdown just announced yesterday that 2 more trucks got added to that schedule, which is, Dirt Crew and Quad Chaos, along with Avenger and Corey Rummel. I don't really remember his name at the top of my head, but I believe the new driver that is piloting Brutus, along with Sinistar, a new female driver. Again, I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. And then Reckless Driving. So
he should be pretty good off there. I ain't gonna lie. He can beat me. He's come a long way in a short time. It's definitely been a good year for him. He's got a really good piece of equipment. I think we've all actually ended up driving that truck at least once in our career here so far. It's basically just been like the truck everybody starts off in and goes from there.
When you guys actually line up against each other, you and Zimmer Jr., do you guys actually have a little bit of a rivalry between the team, or do you guys just go out there and just let it all hang out regardless of who you guys line up against?
We really just have fun. That's the best way to describe it. Every race, we always ask each other what lane who wants, and it just goes from there. But when we line up, it's honestly, we both have the biggest smiles on our face, because we always have the most fun when we race each other.
And Harley, speaking of racing, something I believe you wanted to talk about was his stadium show in Arlington, right?
Yeah, me and Austin got to be there, both shows. Watch you do your stadium debut. So Friday, you actually qualified, was it second?
I think so, yeah.
Qualified pretty high compared to everybody else, which is really, really hard. How did you feel about that?
Honestly, I felt like it didn't even actually happen, because my first practice pass, I spun out in the turn, used too much rear steer, because I've never actually been on a track like that. So I came back and did a second pass all by myself. Really not expecting anything, just made a clean pass, I thought, and come back after, change, and started nut and bolting the truck and going through it. And one of the techs came up and goes, "You qualified second with like the only one in 18. How do you feel?" And I was like, I really don't even know how to describe it. It's just, I didn't believe him.
Just fine.
Yeah, I was like, then the pit party the next day, I looked up and saw my name up there in second for the 18-second something. Is honestly pretty sweet.
Well, you're making a name for yourself in this industry, which is kind of just leads me to believe you've got to have some goals built up for yourself right now. You've come such a long way in a short time. You just said you're 20 years old, my man. I mean, what are some of your goals at being a monster truck driver this day and age?
Honestly, I just want to make it to the World Finals at least once. I really wish it was still in Vegas, because that was always like my go-to favorite show was Vegas. Just always a good time out there. But honestly, just making it into the main field without having to go through like the Young Gun shootout or anything would be one of my main goals.
Oh, dude, if you have to go through the Young Guns field, I think you got nothing to worry about, to be 100% honest. You are by far one of the most, like, you are the guy to watch when it comes to racing, to be completely honest. I was a little, nothing against Swanson or, the guys with Vendetta and Drastic Attack for the Glendale show, but I was really hoping to see the Gardner camp go out there and just whoop some ass just once again, because one of the best races, I don't know what show it was, so you might be able to correct me, but was when you raced against Bari, and the race was within 400 thousandths of a second of each other.
Yeah, that was the first show. So my very first ever stadium race was so nerve-wracking. I literally lined up and was like, I don't even know what I'm going to do right now. I thought I was going to miss the shifter and everything, and then come back, and I was like, I think I just got beat by Zombie Finger or something here.
Not once did it ever appear to us that you might even be a little bit nervous, dude. Your driving style did not show.
It never came off that way at all. It looked like you knew what you were doing, like, not nervous at all.
Normally, once I'm in the truck, like all my nerves go away. But that moment I'm climbing in or have to do like the pre-show interview, I am so nervous. I can't even think of words to say. My mouth is so dry, and it's just like I don't even know what I'm gonna do tonight.
That I get. I feel like those pre-show interviews are just dangerous to a driver. I mean, for that reason alone, the nerves are starting to build at that point. Heck, I mean, even the crew guys start to get a little nervous even at that point. So that being your first big show like that, my man, I know, but you went out, you proved, you belong in state personally is what I believe you proved that weekend. You put on a great show.
I'm hoping I get some more. I know I got Kansas City coming up with Cole here soon, so that ought to be a good time. I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay.
Shouldn't be too bad out there.
Would you say between Team Gardner, who is like a harder competitor for you to go up against? I assuming you've lined up against everybody already within the Gardner camp, right?
Yes, I have. Honestly, I'd probably have to say my dad, because he is like my biggest competitor when we line up. Just like Miami, Oklahoma last year, he betted $100 with I think it was J.R. McNeil that he was going to beat me first round of racing, and then I won $100. It was always pretty cool.
Suck
racing.
it, Pops.
This is my pet peeve for that week, and I wasn't losing first round to him again.
Now the joke is though that you still had to buy dinner after that though because you had the $100.
Well, yeah, I used the company card because he told me he forgot his wallet.
So obviously in monster truck industry, you have a lot of highest of highs, winning big, going into stadiums and just absolutely throwing down. You have an amazing piece. The truck looks great, performs great, but sometimes you have those weekends where everything seems to just go completely sideways. And one of those weekends I want to talk about was in Meridian with All-Star Monster Truck Tour. I think if not your first crash, at least your first big crash. So kind of talk to us about like what happened and what this was like. I mean, this just looked painful.
Yeah, so basically we were fighting front steering issues, rear steering issues this whole year, mostly just the front steering, like the right there in racing before that. Front steering locked up going into the turn against Bill, but he rolled over and landed back on his wheels and beat me, so that was pretty sweet to watch. Didn't really get to watch a lot of it, just kind of heard about it over the radio. But that whole freestyle, my rear steer was stuck and then only like straightened once. So I told myself mentally, you're at least going to get one decent hit. And that was my decent hit that I thought heading towards it with all that momentum. I was like, I'm straight and I want to hit this. And yeah, flying through the air, I was like, I am sideways and this ain't going to feel very good. I ain't going to lie to you.
So it didn't rattle you a little bit? Like it wasn't fuzzy? Like you were strapped in good? Like nothing hurt? Nothing was sore? Like everything was totally fine after that?
The only thing that was sore is my foot from where I kicked my dash bar.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was the only problem I had. Other than that, I felt great. There's 2 GoPros in there with me. And they were like, you moved around so much, but I have so much like draw on my seat belts. It looked like my arms were flailing, but just the seat belts. So I thought I was just in there flopping around.
Now, do you use Butlers or do you use ICP for your seats?
I got a Butler.
Oh, so you got like the lazy boy.
I even got mine reclined back and everything. It's great. It's great for naps before the show. I ain't gonna lie.
You got the power massage setting on your Butler as well?
I wish. That'd be so much better. I would never even get out of the truck. I'd sit in it going down the road in the trailer.
Get him some Netflix and he's good to go.
Not even that. Just give me a phone charger and I'll be asleep before you know it.
Oh, man.
Now, you mentioned you're working on a new truck, right?
Yes.
And you're working for, that's going to be Deidre's new truck?
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a brand new piece for Miss Overboard, so she's not going to have to share a chassis with Cole anymore. Because here in the last few years, she's always shared a chassis with him. So she's finally getting her own piece, and it's going to be pretty sweet. I ain't going to lie.
Now, you said this is the first time in over 2 years she's done anything, right?
Just about. She had a single day show last year, so I didn't really count that for much. Seeing as before that, it was a whole year before she drove, so I'm just basically adding it up. 2 years now.
So now she's getting her own truck. Does she have a lot of shows lined up?
I think she's got quite a few, yeah. It normally just depends on my sister's school schedule and everything. That's a big reason as to why she hasn't been driving a whole lot. The sister with school and all that and work.
Now, speaking of sister, when's she going to start driving?
Oh, my gosh.
She's got at least 12 more years left.
At least a couple
No
of them.
mini monster in the works or anything.
I don't think so. I really don't. We haven't really seen any of them that actually look like they land good. So Dad won't ever. I was never allowed to get one because they always thought I'd get hurt in it. So I think it's going to be the same concept. I think he'd rather put her in a big one and just tell her to go have fun.
Hey, go to this question down here.
This one.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
yeah. Answer this question, Zach. You've got Miami coming up next weekend. Last year, we all know your dad jumped out on you Saturday night. This year, are you coming back for redemption?
Honestly, I might have to now that you brought that up. I might have to switch the old TK gears and switch Dad's around because he's not going to notice if I switch his. But I'm going to try to. It always just depends on how everything's landing and how I feel. I really want to. I thought I did last year, so I pulled up the video and played it frame by frame for him, and he beat me.
Man, Miami, that's one of those biggest independent shows of the year, ain't it?
It's almost like the independent world finals there, Wheatland. At least Dad thought Wheatland was last year. Ripped the whole front end down.
So what is that, like a 12 or a 14 truck lineup usually?
Normally, yeah. I don't really know how many is there this
Big
year.
show.
How far away is Miami from you guys? I can't make a trip down to Oklahoma, but I know you guys can.
Now that you say that, I'm going to look that up. I don't know.
I'm going to say
it doesn't matter. It's next weekend. We can't go.
Sure you can.
It's outside. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Oh, man.
And
So
then answer this question.
I am scheduled
Wheatland.
for Wheatland, so it should be a pretty sweet show. Got my first backflip there last year, so I'm honestly excited to go back and see what else we can do. I really want
Is
to win
that
something again.
the Lucas Oil Speedway?
Yeah, that place
That's
is sweet.
that is a really nice track. I'd love to go there. It's just a bit of a drive for me.
I think you should make it. It's worth it. They literally have a boat drag strip on premises, the trophy truck track, everything. They even have a go-kart track on the concourse.
Tweety, we might need to make a trip out.
I
You know me, I'm all about spending my money poorly. If I could get some go-karts for at least the three of us, I think we should make a trip. Why your wheels are always dirty.
I've been taking notes from you, Denver. I mean, that's the best way to put it. I always ask you why yours are dirty, so I just been kind of, slacking, trying to fit in. That's about it.
Oh man, I'm surprised this old man is on in Denver and Little D is not on here.
He's probably working or something.
Go, yeah, Troy. I'm a simple man. Leave me alone. Troy's always picking on me every single stream we do. I swear. But one of the things Tweety loves about your guys' team, I'm kind of indifferent. Is just you guys are actually like a team with all truck bodies.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes,
Race.
I love that. Okay, which sounds may seem kind of funny to people. I don't know, but I don't know. I lean more towards this the traditional monster truck body
Rather than the crazy 3D.
rather than the 3D
bodies.
concept. Which what I go off of. Okay, when I think of a right, Zach, I think of Bigfoot. Okay, clearly it's going to be my favorite truck for biased reasons, but. Okay, on the other side, okay, you had Snake Bite 3D concept, but I didn't care about Snake Bite growing up. I really didn't. It was all about Bigfoot. And then, but y'all's fleet, okay, it's not like y'all just have some boring trucks. Like, y'all have great designs on your trucks as well, but they are just that. They are all still monster trucks. They still look like a race truck. I love that.
Yeah, I definitely got to say I love the truck bodies as well. I mean, I wouldn't mind having like a Ford or a Dodge body. I just want to be like the one different one, besides me and Lil John be different because he's got the Willys and the rest of us all have Chevys. And I was like, I want to be the oddball and get like a Dodge or something.
Yeah.
There you go. So I actually had a question in regards to that because before Terminal Velocity, your dad was the only one that had kind of the throwback old school, I don't want to call it a square body because I think it's pre-square body, that old school kind of C10 look.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I wish I could have one, but he kind of just took that for himself and won't let any of the rest of us get the glory for it.
I guess the old man gets the old truck, I guess, right?
It works out for him that way. I just want headlights. I've thought so much about putting actual headlights in mine. Going out and finding a wrecked truck that we own in the lot, cutting the headlights out, molding them in, But then I'm like, that's just gonna be too heavy, and I got to put that on every weekend.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I really do. I agree with Tweety. Like, I love that you guys have an all truck team, but it does literally seem like, other than Terminal Velocity, it's just a fleet of Chevys.
It really, Dad's a Chevy guy. I mean, you really
I'm
can't
sorry.
change your mind on it.
Sorry, me and Tweety are Ford lovers, even though not a huge fan of modern Ford, but Ford trucks in the past, absolutely, 100%.
I can respect that.
Yeah, not too crazy on this whole electric vehicle crap going on.
No, it's just weird.
Levi, old man pays for them trucks. He gets what he wants. Okay.
I mean, when he puts it that way, I mean, that's a pretty valid point.
I guess let's. So you've obviously have you always been a fan of the monster truck industry, or is this just something that you all kind of get into because your dad kind of like started to get into it?
I've always kind of liked them. Ever since like first grade, we started going to the World Finals in Vegas, and then so it's always just been one of our things. We always went to Indy and all those shows, and I always just enjoyed them. Then Dad got a truck, and now I got roped into them somehow.
So was there ever a truck or anything growing up that you always were inspired by, or someone's particular driving style, like someone you just looked up to?
No, I always had a favorite truck though, and it's actually Wildfoot. It just wasn't Bigfoot, as Wildfoot.
Okay.
My man, Andy Brass.
Yep.
There you go.
Best
See,
one. Sorry.
See, he's smart after all, Tweety.
Yeah.
It happens.
A lot more now.
Bro. Oh my gosh, man! The comments are blowing up today. I'm honestly really impressed. Thank you guys all for joining. Feel free to ask Zach more questions so we can bombard him some more. Keep the stream going.
There's plenty of questions on here.
So I guess one of my main ones is, we're only midway through the year. We're going into July relatively soon. Other than like Miami, are there any other like big events that you're really excited for the remainder of this year?
Yeah, there's an event in Oklahoma this year that I believe there's 4 of our trucks going, and there's a few others going. I don't really know who it's for. I just know it's going to be a pretty big show. I'm honestly really excited for that one.
Okay.
That's probably going to be my highlight show of the summer.
You gonna tear it up a little bit?
I'm going to try, but I think Dad'll outdo me on that part.
Well, there's this guy in the comments. I see that all 3 of them finally joined, but Mr. John Costin, Indy Monster, will probably be begging for fiberglass if you tear that truck up.
Well, yeah. Atlanta, when I ripped the hood off in racing, I checked my phone in intermission. I had at least 6 DMs on Instagram about, are you going to fix that and rerun it? And I was like, yeah, I only got one body.
These fiberglass collectors, man, they're ruthless. They really are.
They wanted a whole hood fly home with. And I was like, I got to fix that one. And then come back out with the old hood and rip it in half. And it's like, oh, this is great. More fiberglass work.
So, Zach, roughly around 2010, 2011-ish, my dad got out of racing and took like a 6-year hiatus of monster trucks. During those 6 years, I didn't pay attention or keep up with anything. Okay, the new trucks coming in, the changes to the tracks and driving style and all that stuff. That's really when your dad, y'all's team really kind of stepped in. Okay. And we look at now, y'all are really a force to be reckoned with. I know Austin already brought that up, but you got somebody in your team such as John Zimmer Jr., who's out there making a heck of a name for himself. What's it like to be teamed up with a guy like him? Because I'm just saying, here before too much longer, people are going to be pulling up these big independent monster truck races, even monster jam races as well. And they're like, well, them 2 boys are here. Them 2 young people, might as well just pack it back on up and go home.
Yeah, it's honestly pretty great. I met him about maybe 5 or 6 years ago at Mount Pleasant when Big John came to help my dad, I think, rebuild shocks on the Willys when Dad was still running it. And then we just kind of got better friends as the years went on, and it's honestly great. I wouldn't really change it for the world. Like last year, I was with Brandon Telechka and the Telechka family. That was a lot of fun. I wouldn't change that either, but me and Junior, it's an amazing time. We have so much fun on the road. Between getting different pizza joints every weekend in the hotel, watching just random videos on the TV because we take our HDMI adapter, it's just great.
It's nice to have somebody, similar age to you that you can, just rough it with on the road. But it's so much fun to watch y'all drive. I gotta say, man. And I can't wait to see, Zimmer when he finally gets that chance to grace the stadium floor. I'm telling you, y'all are going to be a force to be reckoned with before too much longer. You're already breaking hearts out there. So,
I was gonna say, I think Atlanta, I did break a couple hearts. Unfortunately, I really went in there just not really knowing what to expect, and then we just was there, and I was like, "This is fun." Got my first overall, and basically like a stadium setting, and that was.
Well, I gotta ask you something. When you were at Arlington, okay, and you beat Adam, okay, you beat him fair and square in my mind. What was it like being around Adam after you beat him?
I don't know. I've never really been like the guy that goes back there and talks a lot. I just kind of keep to myself, and I don't really just like go out of my way to talk a lot of people because I'm not like a very talkative person, I guess. I was just kind of like I'm there. So it really wasn't really any different. He just kind of looked at me and smiled, told me good job and all that. So it was honestly pretty sweet. I got told a lot of good jobs there, and that really meant a lot to me, and actually made me enjoy going there, even though I broke the first show.
So there just wasn't, some y'all semis tires weren't slashed or anything like that when you got back to the rig or anything like that?
No, not that time.
that time. Oh no.
That might happen soon now that you brought that up, but let's hope not.
I'm just saying, Team Gardner, we talked about this before, Tweety. One of y'all on Team Gardner are going to be a World Finals champion. We can see it through and through. And I think Jim Kohler is going to be a little pissed.
Oh, between Kohler and my dad this first quarter, it was honestly more fun just listening to Dad complain about it and what great time they had. Because the biggest rivalry was between them. It wasn't even about stuff they were racing against. Just like Dad called him the duck, and we went and bought duck decoys from Bass Pro Shops in Jacksonville, Florida, and just self-tapped them all into the roof of his truck and everything. That was
What?
Good last question down here. Yeah, that one right there. Zach, what was running through your head down there in Atlanta when you finally got there and you saw that big-ass track?
Basically what you just said. I really didn't know what to expect. I saw the pictures that they were posting, and I thought the jammer in the race lane was like a double, and I was like, I'm going to double that. And then I got there and looked at it and walked out to it, and it was like 2 times the size of me. I was like, I'm not going to double this. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. But it was honestly like kind of crazy seeing the setting that they were in, I guess, was that big and that great. I had a great time. I don't know about y'all, but I was having a blast down there, even in the rain and mud.
Those pressure washers working double time that event. Holy crap.
I don't even know how much mud we washed off my truck, but I am still finding it in the cab and everywhere. It is terrible.
That show. Wow.
I don't think anyone was able to. Was there 1 or 2 people that maybe hit a backflip at that rain show? I think Todd might have been one of them.
Todd did, and then that was really about it. I was gonna say I tried the second show the first night. And it under rotated and then bounced, and I couldn't find reverse fast enough because I was like, "What just happened?" in my head. And it was and just hanging out there, and Dad's on the radio saying, "Just hang out, you'll be fine. They're on their way." And it's like, can't really do much now. I'm on my roof.
So, Mr. Morgan down here, right below this previous question, it's kind of something I kind of want to touch on. Is the shirt you're wearing is actually pretty sweet. Will those be available anywhere online or at events coming by?
They will. We're actually taking them this weekend with us to Matt Motorsports in Springfield, Missouri. They should be up on the website once we actually find somebody that knows what they're doing with the website and can update it for us. So if you know how to do that, DM me and we'll get you set up because we're actually needing that done.
Hell yeah. Now, one of the things I kind of want to touch base on, since we're talking about collectibles, you actually have a pretty huge following, with this truck with Wildside, and it's a beautiful truck, mind you. I love the orange and purple. I thought it was crazy that a really good friend of mine, Mr. Taylor, Andy's actually helped you guys design that truck. And dude, to say that he was excited to even see it come to fruition is an understatement. I mean, he would talk about it constantly, but it's a beautiful truck and we all love it. However, my question is, why on the Monster Jam Superstore is there only Black Pearl?
I don't really know. Since I think it's really because Cole's got like one of the bigger names out of our team at Monster Jam, like just because he's been there longer and just like his following, I guess. I really don't know. That's above my pay grade, I guess.
Do you think that'd be something that we could possibly see in the future? Is Team Overboard actually having like other, like I guess you could say die cast or anything else really popping up on the Superstore?
Honestly, I hope so because that'd be pretty sweet. I ain't gonna lie to you. That'd literally mean a lot more to me. Just like seeing everybody with like their wrapped RC bodies with my truck, it's literally sweet. I actually had to buy one because I just had to buy one. I couldn't help it.
Do you actually have an RC or do you just have a body?
I do. I got a body, but I haven't put it on a truck yet because, well, seeing as the OverBoard body I bought from Nick, I literally destroyed it the first 10 minutes at their shop there in Florida. Like, oops, I'm not putting this on a truck.
I totally understand. I got my Venom body I had ordered, and I have a builder's kit that's just still in the box. I haven't even touched it. It's just I wanted it, I got it, and it's just collecting dust on my shelf.
It's there.
It's just there. It's gonna get done eventually, but not soon enough.
Just get an LMT. It's so much better than the SMT10.
If I had a freaking dollar for everybody that's told me to get an LMT, it's an R for those two that are whispering. It's an RC car.
That's
Oh.
what that is. Oh, okay.
It happens.
Come on, guys, catch up.
That's what all the cool kids got nowadays. Come on now.
I guess.
You have an RC car just sitting in there collecting dust.
Yeah. It doesn't have a body. It doesn't have a rear drive shaft. But it will work. I just got to put a drive shaft on it, and yeah.
Don't you have like the Traxxas Bigfoot, which is like the easiest RC to work on?
Oh, with a brushless motor too.
Ooh, brushless motor.
Yeah, it'll go like 100 miles an hour, but I've never been able to get to 100 miles an hour before it freaks out and just rolls.
All right, good Lord. Sorry, my phone is blown up from John Costin. He wants to know about Springfield and King of Springfield or something like that. Are you going to retain your title, I guess?
I'm hoping so because Tim Jones called me yesterday and told me he got his truck all prepared for the new King of Miami. So I'm going to have to try and put a stop to that. But I'm just going to go there and have fun and do what I did last year, hopefully, and just see if I can come back out on top.
Hey, that Tim Jones is no joke, man.
Tell me about it. He is literally one of the best guys we can run with. We have so much fun when we're together. We actually call him Uncle Tim for some reason. I don't really know why. It just flows off the tongue better.
Mm-hmm. Uncle
But
Tim.
he was so excited.
I had seen his freestyle from the Cape Girardeau, Missouri All-Star show, but that guy was just unreal. He was like out there putting on a world finals performance for a small little independent show. I mean,
He does that.
You got your work
every
cut out
weekend.
for you.
Every weekend. They're in Humboldt, Kansas, I think it was, for All-Star. He was racing junior when he did that sidewall save or whatever. And he was so excited he finally beat one of us. It's like he's honestly one of the best competitors we can run with because he's fun, he enjoys it, and just it's honestly great.
So we're talking a lot about like competition and like racing and winning stuff, but we obviously know there's a lot more into this industry than just going to an event, winning, losing, crashing. Do you have any like on the road stories, whether it be like just a weird coincidence or blowing 5 tires like Mr. Tweedy here trying to get to a show for practice? Just anything just at the top of your head.
Honestly, there's so many different ones, but I think the one that stands out the most was probably, I think it was last year. We were in the toter heading home right before we sold it and all that. And we had maybe 3 tires blow out on it and blow the rear deck apart. And I slept through the first 2. I ain't gonna lie to you. Then I just woke up and smelled burning rubber, and I was like, "What's going on down here?" And just pop tires everywhere.
Oh man, someone needs to invest in tires.
Talked about having that deck blow apart like that. That's insane. What a tire can do to a bunch of metal, isn't it?
Very. I really wasn't expecting to come out and see like half the side of the toter fenders and everything in the rear gone, and I was like, "We got to replace that before we sell it, don't we?" And then, yeah, we had to fix it.
Okay, there's another joke. All right, so I got one for you. Since you're getting into monster trucks, who is there somebody that you have not lined up against that you want to? Like, consider this like a call out, if you would.
I really don't know. I mean, probably really don't really have anybody off the top of my head. I've kind of lined up against everybody I always thought I wouldn't, and just kind of like a dream come true when I did. Probably Tom's the only one I haven't lined up against yet. And honestly, I want to because that'd be fun.
You think you got a chance?
I hope so. I really do. But I don't know.
You're not giving yourself enough credit there, man.
Come on, man.
Just how I am. I don't want to seem cocky because then that's just when everything goes bad.
Yeah.
Well, the zoomies, yeah. I like my collectors. I ain't gonna lie to you. But here in Fortville at our shop, we're not allowed to have them anymore because the neighbors behind us always call the cops on us. So we have a noise ordinance in place now.
Yeah.
And so we all just run mufflers. It's so much easier.
Party poopers.
It happens, yeah. But I've thought about building a set, but I just haven't got to it or had the time.
Man, even if it was just for like a pit party or something, just either some like real nice satin black zoomies just kind of barely sticking up from those rear fenders, or even chrome even.
They'd be
Or
crazy.
hell, mix it up a little bit. Throw some anodized aluminum zoomies and make it purple.
Or like
Yeah,
I
man.
think gold or like the chameleon or almost.
Yeah, there you go.
Be a good time.
Oh, absolutely. Any Monster Jam shows you have this summer? That's actually a good question. Do you have any Monster Jam shows?
I know I got Kansas City, Missouri coming up for the stadium, and then after that, I really don't know. It's just one of those things. I get in the rig when I get told we're leaving, and I fall asleep, and I wake up at a different track, arena, stadium, and I'm there. It's really bad.
I want to give you a bit of a heads up. So Kansas City, I'm assuming you're going to Arrowhead Stadium, right? To the
I believe
football
so, yeah.
stadium. So I
Uh,
was putting on the one of the, or I say one of the first, it was the first Monster Jam show there, and I will let you know that damn tunnel is like this freaking wide.
Oh,
Okay,
that's great.
they will still have y'all do intros out that son of a bitch. So, words of wisdom. I know y'all's trucks are a little bit wider than a regular felt truck, so keep that in mind.
I will, because we are a lot wider, and I have the newest rims, so they got a little bit more offset, at least on my BKTs, because, well, I took them before Dad could take them, so that worked out for me.
smart.
But, yeah, well, we'll get there and just have to, like, rub rails, have them put down the wall for us.
Tweety, would you say it's shorter than San Diego at Petco?
No, it's not. But I will tell you what, it's not too far off though. That San Diego though, it's trippy. There's a reason they don't do intros out of there. But I'm just gonna go ahead and say I was super shocked that they did intros from the tunnels at Arrowhead Stadium. That's how narrow it is. And when we came back through afterwards the show, we went up. We saw somebody did tag it coming on the way in. They might have even changed that rule. I don't know. They might just do intros from the floor there from now on. Who knows?
So all monster trucks. I think that's all monster. Says on the road or at home. Do you find time to ever mess around with rigs or rods or Beam and G?
Not anymore. I never have time. I get home, end up cleaning my truck after work, and then go eat dinner and hang out with my friends. And then by the time I get home, it's like midnight, and I'm like, I'm going to bed. I got to be at the shop by 8 o'clock, and I normally show up about 8:39. Just normal things.
There you go, bud. You got any advice for kids wanting to be a monster truck driver?
Honestly, try finding an independent show coming near you. Start contacting teams, see if you could help out, like cleaning windows, tire shining. I know it sounds stupid, but that's honestly the best way to do it. I can't really say much because, well, Dad bought them, and I just kind of got roped into them and started working and helping, and just worked my way up. You got to start somewhere, is what I always tell everybody.
Whether it's grunt work or not, man, it's still being involved with a monster truck team, and you have to prove that you're willing to work and get your hands there. And at the end of the day, it's still having something to do with a monster truck, so why wouldn't you?
Exactly. That's what I always try to tell people. It's like you always got to put in the work, and then somebody will notice it one day, and then you'll get swept up into a different team and might have a driving seat.
Perfect example is somebody that's actually in the comment section right now, Mr. Levi Shones. He's always helped out on club help and setting everything up. Everybody loves Levi. I don't think I've met anybody that doesn't know Levi Shones. Super awesome guy, down to earth, and he loves what he does, and it goes a long way. So yeah, 100%. You want to get in the industry, just work hard.
Now, I think I've seen this next question a couple times in here already, so I know it's begging to be asked. You got any new moves planned for skills and freestyle, Zach?
Honestly, really don't plan anything. I just go out and just hit stuff. Honestly, I just kind of head towards it, and if I plan to do a stoppie, I know I'm going to do one, so I just like get myself mentally prepared for it. But really, I never even thought about trying anything different. I just finally started getting good at the stoppies and moonwalks, so it took me almost a year to do that. And Junior's over here doing it in like 6 months. It's like, come on now. I can't give you all my secrets.
I'm just waiting for somebody to try a a cartwheel or something in these damn trucks, in all honesty, with these skill challenges.
Yeah, it could very well possibly happen, or somebody jumped the stadium. It's just something random.
Mr. LeDuc, we're shooting for the moon. You ready? In case anybody has not seen the video. In case anyone's not seen the video a million times, LeDuc did a leap almost out of the damn stadium at World Finals 20. It's really cool. You should check it out.
It was pretty sweet.
Monster Jam won't stop posting it. It seems like every other day.
If Monster Jam's not posting it, this guy's posting it.
Oh my gosh. I kind of feel bad for my friends because they actually shared the leap on TikTok, and I don't make TikTok videos. I'm not handsome enough for TikTok, so I just like look at funny videos and cats and cars and whatever. And the LeDuc leap popped up, so I sent it 20 times to my other monster truck friends just in case. So as they're looking at it, it's like Todd LeDuc, Todd LeDuc, Todd LeDuc, Todd LeDuc.
Yeah, I saw that. Hey, this is a good question right here. Was there ever a point in your career where you were just like, damn, I could be extremely good at this?
Honestly, no. I just kind of got behind the wheel just to have fun. That's really all I strive to do, and just have fun and have a good time. If it's not fun, I don't want to do it. That's really my main key, is having fun, and like being on the road with Big John, Big A, Little John, all of them. It's so much fun, but I really never thought I'd be good at it or be like a force to be reckoned with, I guess, in any of the shows. I just thought I'd be there.
Let me ask you something else, because you kind of bring up an interesting point there. You talk, okay, you want to have fun. It is amazing at times how stressful this industry can be and how stressful these shows can be. I mean, kind of talk about that a little bit, the non-fun side of monster trucks, because we got people in the comment section, wondering about kids, how they can become drivers. Well, kind of let those young fans know, like I said, Zach, just the not fun side of this industry.
Yeah,
Morning media.
The not so fun sides when, well, as you saw earlier from the Meridian crash, was fixing that till like 1 or 2 in the morning, going to parts runs and everything. And then Zimmer and all of them are back there working as you're going to get parts for them and everything else. And that's just the not so fun side, and like making sure it's always 100%. That's really not the bad part, but it's just like being gone so much and just living on the road could sometimes be stressful, because it's like you never really get a break from them, I guess you could say. That's one of the key points for me.
Yeah,
Never
a lot
get a
of
break
people
from the
tend
break.
to get burnt out on
Yes.
monster trucks, and a lot of good guys get burnt out at a young age as well.
You very well can. If you do every week and you're gone like for months at a time, you could get so burnt out. But like when we were gone for that first month of January, or month and a half there, it really wasn't too bad, because we, like I said, just did random things and just hung out with everybody and just made it a good time. It's like you got to make it a good time to have fun. If not, you still have fun, but it could be stressful at sometimes.
What Levi said, that is actually really good advice. There is a lot of heat of the moments people don't see, and some people can't handle that. Tough skin is needed for monster trucks.
That's valid.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
That is very valid, especially when there's like a transmission flying at you from out of the truck, trying to switch it in between rounds of racing and all that. And yeah.
Oh my gosh, I won't forget. I was helping Mr. Josh Yoho when he was with Lucas Oil, and of course this was at Houston. I swear we always have the worst luck at Houston. We always have bad stories about Houston.
Right.
And well, they put tarps down before you start tearing apart
Yes.
trucks, so that way you're not tearing up the parking lot. Well, there's a lot of oil in these front ends, ladies and gentlemen, in case you did not know. There's a lot of gear oil, and I remember trying to help tear the planetaries, the hubs, get the third out. And I swear to God, it felt like I was in an ice skating rink. Like I could not keep my balance at all. And there was just a couple, like, you hear from the officials, like, you got so many lifts left. You got 4 guys thrashing, yelling for parts, yelling for tools. You got other people that are also working on their trucks yelling, where the blank is this so-and-so tool at? And it's chaos. It absolutely is. But that's the stuff behind the scenes you don't see. It is stressful, but at the end of the day, you tend to relax and you laugh at the bad nights, like the nights that you're there, or the days or weekends like Mr. Tweedy here, staying up for 32 hours straight working on trucks. Like, it sucked at the time, but those are the memories that stick with you forever.
That is a very good point. It's like those points in time, even after that thrash, you're like, that was a good time, and I wouldn't change that for anything. Like, the thrash is honestly the best part, but it can also be so stressful with, like, transmission flying at you, planetary, or something random happening, or slipping and falling all the oil. But those are, like, the moments that you really don't forget or anything like that.
No, if there's one thing I could just kind of put to the side and maybe not ever have to do again, and that's change damn semi tires on the side of the road in the middle of a blizzard. I mean, we could skip that. I'd be fine.
But you remember those moments, and it made you who you are today.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Always check your tires, kids. The more you know.
Tires, your airbag systems. And,
It's pre-trip for a reason.
yeah. What else is going on this comment section?
I nothing really. I just got a text from Troy. He's like, I'm scared to comment, so I'm just going to text you. I'm like, I'm in the middle of doing this. He does this every time. He just tries to interrupt me on the stream. He's like, I just want to say hi.
It must have worked then.
I guess so. I always have this on silent, but on my phone, it buzzes. It's like someone's calling me, and I look, and I'm like, no, it's just 20 text messages.
Now, one thing, just kind of completely off topic from everything tonight, but just before I forget, next Tuesday night, for everybody who's watching tonight, Mr. Jeff Bursey will be taking over as the special guest of the Crush This podcast. We are not sponsored by the Crush This podcast in any way, shape, or form, but do like to bring awareness to the good guys out there doing similar things such as this show. And then there will also probably be another guest for that show as well.
Oh, there's 100% going to be another guest. But your teammate is actually in the comment section, Zach. Can you come weld these shock brackets so he can paint them?
Oh, yeah, give me a second. I mean, I got to stop talking, I guess, if you want me to come do that. But yeah, if you
Are
give
they
me
for your
2 minutes.
truck or for his truck?
They're for Deidre's.
Oh,
We're kind of
okay.
cutting it down to the wire, as we leave tomorrow, and we still haven't started it or anything. It's still getting put together.
You got nothing to worry about. I'm sure he's got it. You're doing great, little Z. Can't wait to see you this Saturday.
Hey, Z, why don't you go ahead and you just weld them?
Yeah,
and
you just
look
weld
up
them.
and paint them.
Just make sure you follow the curvature I got going on them, even though it's a little off and looks a little weird, but it's different. It works.
He's like, hey, thanks.
Well, Austin, you got anything else for our guest tonight?
Man, honestly, man, just absolutely good luck to you. You know, we love seeing what you're doing in the industry. You're kicking ass and taking names, and we're looking nothing but great things for you guys and your team. And hopefully, sometime soon, a World Finals Championship, whether it's in racing or freestyle. Those other skills and high jump crap they don't count. That's nothing.
Thank you. I mean, I hope so as well. It doesn't matter who it is in the team. I'm always rooting for him. I'm honestly like my biggest competitor because I always overthink it. And I have more fun rooting for everybody else than I do myself.
Well, man, I hope you have an absolute blast this weekend in Springfield and retain that title. Kick some ass out there.
I'm going to try. My big competition is going to be Tim. He's going to be talking a lot of smack, I feel like. We're just going to have to talk it right back.
Hey, he's a force to be reckoned with. You got a good stacked lineup this weekend, but you know something? You're just as good as any of them. So, Zach, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you for tuning in to the Throttle Out Show. Remember, when in doubt, throttle out. Peace out, y'all. Good night.